Hey y'all, it's Day or De La Soul, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about some things we need to know about our hair in order to make educated decisions when it comes to picking products, following different people's methods, even my methods, and help you with like realistic expectations and knowing up front, okay, that's not going to work for my hair. And the things that I'm going to be talking to you guys about today are porosity, of course. That's like the most important thing to me as far as getting healthy hair. So porosity, strand size, density, and I am gonna touch on curl patterns. Those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I do not like hair typing, and I'm including this in the video because it's something that we all like obsess about. Like the natural hair community is obsessed with these hair charts, and I'm sure people are gonna argue with me. It's whatever, this is my opinion. If you want a hair type away, but this is my opinion. I honestly think it's just like a marketing ploy. Like if you look at these companies who say, oh, we cater to 4C hair, if you look at their advertisement, like the stuff that they actually pay to like actually have advertisement, not us on YouTube, but if you actually look at who's on their bottles, who are in like their magazine ads, it's never a 4C chick, is it? No. So it's inadvertently selling a dream that this works and that it'll loosen up your hair texture or it'll give you naturally defined coils, but at the end of the day, your texture is your texture. My second problem is just based off the validity of the chart. People will look dead at my wash and go and ask me what my curl pattern is. If that chart is so legitimate, why are you asking me what my curl pattern is? You should be able to look at that chart and then look at my curl pattern and know, correct? Why is it a constant discussion? Why? I don't understand. Like the obscurity of that chart blows me. And I'm not gonna type my hair because honestly, a letter and a number will never fully represent anybody's natural hair. It helps you have realistic expectations of how your hair is going to look at the end of a style. And we already know that. If there's a chick with 4C hair, her twist out's obviously not gonna look like a chick with 3A hair. That's a given. But knowing that she's 4C doesn't tell you what kind of products that she needs. It doesn't tell you how much protein that she needs. It doesn't even tell you how much manipulation her hair can handle. That's what your porosity, your strand size, and your density tell you, and that's what I'm gonna get into next. I mean, here's an example. A 4C hair chick with oily hair is gonna need a whole nother set of products than a 4C hair chick with dry hair. Same things if you take a 4C hair chick with high porosity. She's gonna have a different regimen, a different way that she applies her products than a 4C hair chick with low porosity. So I know some people are gonna disagree with me, and I'm whatever, fight me then, meet me in the comment section. That's my opinion, and you really, it's kind of a little bit of fact. Like, I'm still not telling you how to moisturize each of their hair. It's still not telling you what product's gonna work for each of their hair. What do they have in common other than their curl pattern is the same? Their twist outs might look similar. So moving along, let's talk about things that will tell you about what products and how to moisturize and what your regimen should be. So I'm about to get into this stuff, and I just want to say up front, some of this stuff is going to be a little bit contradictory, and that's just because nobody's hair is the same. So I'm going to start with porosity, which is to me the most important thing, and that was what really helped me get a grasp of my hair. Porosity is your hair's ability to retain moisture. So you have high porosity, which easily absorbs moisture, but on the same note, the moisture escapes quickly. So you can get moisture, but it dries out really quick. And then on the other end, there's low porosity. That's when you have difficulties getting moisture in because your cuticles are so tightly shut that moisture just kind of bounces off of it. But once you get your hair moisturized, it's locked in there for days because your cuticles are shut tight, trapping it in there. Now, what porosity tells you is how to layer your products, essentially. So you know that with a high porous hair, your focus is gonna always be on sealing in moisture because the moisture absorbs easily, remember? So your focus is, how do I keep that moisture? So sealing is extremely important. Somebody with high porosity, she may want to get her moisture on, seal that in, and then put an additional layer of moisture on top because she knows that that moisture is gonna escape quickly, but she has that extra layer of moisture to help her retain. So that's when she may do the LOC method, which is moisture seal moisture. Whereas with low porosity, it's important to just get to moisturize. We know once that moisture is in there, it's gonna stay there because the cuticle is so tightly shut. So I have low porous hair, and what works for me is doing the LCO version of the LOC method. And that's my leave-in, my cream, and then my oil to seal. So I do moisture, seal, because I already know it's gonna seal. And those aren't the only two ways to apply products. The point of knowing your porosity is to know what you need to focus on. So with high porosity, the focus is to seal in moisture and keep moisture, whereas with low porosity, the focus is to get moisture. So that's porosity. Next is density. Density is your, like, the actual amount of strands on your head. And you have thick density and you have thin density hair. So thick, thin, and then there's medium in the middle. So that helps you with the amount of product you need to be applying on your hair. And it also kind of helps with the concentration of the product. So as far as amount goes, with thicker hair, I can apply a lot of product, and I have to apply a lot of product to make sure that all my hair is coated. Otherwise, it'll just be a bad day because certain areas will be drier than others because I didn't apply enough product. Whereas with thin hair, you use less products to get what you need to get from them. And as far as concentration, typically, and it's not necessarily set in stone because there are other components that go into affecting whether you need more concentrated products or more like watery products. But typically with thicker hair, concentrated products really help. And then typically with thinner hair, lighter products help because you don't want to weigh your hair down if it's already thin, because it's already thin. So density also helps when you're going through and styling your hair. So with my hair, I like to work in bigger sections just because it tames my hair down. And I love volume, but it can get to a point where if I did my twist or my rods too small, it would just be like this compact ball on my head versus like an actual fluffy shape. Then there's people with thinner hair tend to style in smaller sections so that they get more volume because they can separate more and just get a fuller look. So lastly but not least is our strand size, and that's just what it says, the size of your individual strands. That makes a difference because that'll tell you how much manipulation your hair can handle. It'll help you as far as determining if your hair may be a little more prone to damage or not than others. So with strand size, you have fine strands, which are your thin strands. You have your regular normal size strands, and then you have thick strands, which are called coarse. And I actually didn't know until somebody corrected me and I went and looked it up, that when we say coarse, we usually think about tough hair, like thick, tough hair is hard to manage, but coarse actually refers to the actual size of your strand. And same thing with fine. When we think about fine hair, we think about thin hair. So coarse is not determined by your curl pattern and it's not determined by your density. It's just straight up your size of your strand. So coarse strands are actually the strongest because they're so thick. They can endure being combed, straightened, styled all the time. So they can handle a lot of manipulation. On the other end, fine strands are more prone to damage because they're so thin they can easily be broken. So simple things like combing and straightening and whatnot can cause damage. So when I figured out that my strands were fine, that's when I was like, well, maybe I should just incorporate more protein to buffer against that damage because I do have color in my hair and I do style my hair a lot. As soon as I started protein treating, and I protein treat every other wash day now, my hair just did a complete 360, like turned all the way around and was a whole nother person. And also with fine strands, lighter products, something that's more like liquidy tends to work better on the hair than something like raw shea butter, which I don't use anymore. But when I put that on my hair, it just sits there and it's stiff and it just doesn't look good because my strands are so fine. So coarse strands, heavier products, and they're stronger. Fine strands, lighter product, and may need more protein. So that's pretty much it, you guys. As far as the 3 things that I think are really important, as I know this was a lot of information. So in my description box, I will have some more links for you guys to read up on. And like I said, it's gonna be a little bit contradictory, but there is no end all be all with natural hair. All of this stuff is like scientifically based, but in reality, it always doesn't play out that way. So for example, I have low porosity with fine strands and dense hair, and having fine strands and dense hair kind of contradicts each other a little bit because dense hair is saying that I need a lot of product, but at the same time having fine strands means I can't have a bunch of heavy products on my hair because my hair will get suffocated and weighed down and can't breathe. So this is just like a foundation just to kind of lead you in the right direction. So when you're trying to make decisions for your hair, you're making educated guesses. You're not just copying somebody who could potentially have a whole nother set of needs than what you have. And you can track what's working and what's not working. So thank you guys so much for watching. I know I expanded on my hair, but I just firmly believe in not telling people what to do with their hair because I'm not a licensed cosmetologist. I only know about my hair and I still make mistakes with my hair. So I will have links in the description box to give more generic information. So I hope this helps you guys, and thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye.